Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Okoyemi Goddess, and today I'll be tackling a question, like a frequently asked question on this channel, or should I say a frequently asked question in my DM. This is one question that people ask me every day. Like I get DMs every day or almost every day asking, oh, should I bring my family along when coming to the UK? Should I come with my husband, or should they come and join me later? Should I come with my wife and kids, or should they join me later? Should I come with... Basically, people ask me if they should come with their dependents first, or if they should come alone first and then dependents join them later. And this question is always asked by people on tier 4 visa and people on tier 2 visa. So tier 4 visa for students and tier 2 visa for people like us, employees, people who come on work basis. Okay, so I feel like I just need to tackle this question once and for all. And then when people get to ask me this question, I can just send them the link to this video, because I'm honestly tired of answering the same question every time. Anyways, let's just get started. So if you've ever asked me this question, you would have probably realized that I did not give a definitive answer. I must have given you all the options available. I must have probably told you what I think, but I would definitely not tell you this is what you should do and what you should not do, because circumstances vary, family situations also vary, like a lot of things. I mean, there's just a lot of things involved, trust me. So there's no like one way process for this. It's not like a one size fits all kind of thing or kind of situation. It varies, you know, depending on the person's circumstances, number of children, the type of partner you have. It's just complicated, really. So to the best of my knowledge, I would share with you the options available, and then you can now decide. It's good to make an informed decision. So based on the things I would say, you can now decide if you want to come with your dependent. I was about saying relative. So you can now decide if you want to come with your dependent, at first, or you want them to come later. It's up to you to decide. Okay, so let's get started. If you're, for instance, let me start with students. So you're coming for your master's degree, you're coming for a PhD. Anyways, you're on tier 4 visa and you're married and you have kids. Okay, so let's start with if you're just married alone, you don't have kids. So that's actually easier. Like if you don't have kids, you and your partner can come together. Now, I'm actually just suggesting. This is not like definitive. So you and your partner can still come together, but don't also forget that you need somewhere for your partner to stay. So when people say they want to come with their spouse at first, I'm always like, okay, so where would your partner stay? Because for instance, if you're coming as a student, you're most likely going to stay in a student accommodation, or you rent an apartment outside of school. So where would your partner stay in the meantime? So if you have that sorted, like say you have a relative in the UK that your partner can stay with, say for like 1 week or 2 weeks, when just for you to get the accommodation sorted, like if you want to live outside campus. So that period where you get your accommodation sorted, then you can bring your partner with you if you have someone your partner can stay with. Do you get? But if you don't have anybody your partner can stay with, and I don't think it is wise if you don't have someone your partner can stay with in the meantime. But if you have someone that can accommodate him or her while you are probably in the student accommodation, till you're able to get an accommodation outside. I also want to put it out there that getting accommodation in the UK is not like something very easy. Trust me, they would always do their own background check. They want to do your credit check, and of course, as an immigrant, you don't have any credit rating, no credit history really. So because you don't have any credit history, there are other ways they can still just do a background check on you, just to ensure that you're not a criminal, you don't have any criminal background and all that, just to do certain checks to ensure that you can actually afford to pay the rent and all that. So that might take some time. There are times that it might take a week for them to do their background check. Sometimes it can take 2 weeks for them to do their background check. So just to ensure that you can afford it and you're not a criminal and that you're also in the country legally. So they will do all their checks. So imagine you coming with your partner and your children, and then you're waiting for the landlord or the agent to do that background check, and it takes about 3 weeks or 2 weeks, or even usually it's 2 weeks to 3 weeks. I don't think it can be less than that, but let's even say, okay, 1 week. You need somewhere for your family to stay in that meantime. That's my point. So where would they stay? And I'm also saying this because a lot of people abuse the fact that they have relatives abroad. Like, also they feel like, oh, I have a relative abroad, then my partner and my kids can stay with that relative. Now, if the relative has a small space, what would happen? It's more like you're inconveniencing them. So why can't you just let your partner and your kids wait a little bit? You get that accommodation sorted, and then say 1 month or 2 months after your own arrival, they can join you. You all can actually apply for visa at the same time, so that everybody gets a visa. That's okay, but they coming can be delayed a bit just for you to get the accommodation sorted, and then they can come in. Because I know people would say, oh, I have a sister abroad, I have a brother abroad, and then they go ahead and dump their partner and their kids with the relative. And trust me, searching for a house can take sometimes a month before you get like your desired house or your desired apartment. It can take a month, it can even take longer. But if you have like relatives that are accommodating, but trust me, even the relative that would accommodate you, it will be easier for that relative if it's just, say, your partner alone. But imagine your partner and they're like 3 kids, it will be very difficult. But if it's just you, or if it's just your partner, it will be easy for your relative or a friend to accommodate you for, say, a week or 2 weeks before you get your accommodation sorted. So that's that for students. I might just mix it up actually if I remember other things. Now, for people who are on tier 2 visa, now I know for we medical practitioners, say like for nurses and doctors, the second phase of your exam, of your licensing exam, will be done in the UK, meaning that until you pass the second phase of your exam, you won't get licensed to practice. You can start practicing as a pre-registered person, pre-registered professional, while you are preparing for the second phase of, or the final phase of your exams. Now, that means that you're not even stable. Fine, you're already on tier 2 visa, you're already in the UK, but you're not yet like licensed by the regulating body in the UK to practice as either a nurse or a doctor. So that means that you're still like 1 leg in and 1 leg out. Let's just be truthful. So you want to concentrate and pass your exams. So why are you rushing to bring in, especially people who have kids? I mean, if it's just a partner, they definitely can't disturb you. They won't be like a source of distraction to you because they're adults. Do you get, like, but kids are kids. That's why they are kids. They would disturb you. You can't concentrate on your exams. I mean, you have an exam you're preparing for. When you have kids, how would you concentrate? You have to take care of kids. And in the UK, you can't leave children at home alone. It is illegal. If you get caught, the kids will be taken away from you. Trust me. So you don't even, and you can even be jailed. So don't even try it. So don't, and because people make decisions like, oh, my kids are like grown, like they are like 10, one is 10 years old, one is 12 years old, one is 7 years old. In Nigeria, they are grown, but here they are still babies. Do you get? You cannot leave them alone at any time for that kind of age group. So please, if you're coming, imagine if you're coming to study, how would you concentrate? I mean, you're just arriving, just settling with 3 kids at first. You want to at least settle in properly, get to know your school, get to know the courses you'll be taking, get to know your tutors, just settle in, and then you can now get an accommodation as well, and probably get a part-time job. Because as a student, if you're coming with kids, who will fend for those kids? The kids will eat, they will wear clothes, they will go to school. There are a lot of things that you need to do for those kids, and you need money to do those things. So besides schooling, you also need to maybe get a part-time job, and then you can bring your family into the UK. That is my own point of view. And for people who are coming as employees, for people in the medical line, I just said it, that you would have to take the other exam that would get you licensed in the UK. So you need a lot of concentration, because if you keep failing the exam, it means you are not yet registered in the UK. So you're like 1 leg in and 1 leg out, and you can be asked to leave if some circumstances come up. So you need that utmost concentration. So I believe that why not come alone, or come with just your partner, because your partner is an adult, and then both of you can work hand in hand and then try to bring in the kids when you're properly settled, after you've passed your exams, and then now you can afford a bigger accommodation. Now for now, still on the case for nurses and doctors, a lot of hospitals will give us accommodation. Some will, I mean, free accommodation. For some will give for like a month, some 3 months, but I don't think it would exit 3 months free accommodation. In my own case, I think I got just 1 month free 1 month free accommodation. So I know some get as long as 3 months, but it will never exit that in most cases. And some employers don't even give you any free accommodation. And the funny thing is that free accommodation is only meant for you. It's not even meant for your partner or your kids. I mean, if they find out that you bring in your family, you'll be chased out of that accommodation. You know, if they find out that you're living in that small accommodation with your family, it will become something serious. Do you get? So imagine you have a free accommodation for 1 month, for 2 months, you know, from the employer, from your hospital. Maximize that. For that 1 month or 2 months, sit for your exams, pass, and then start looking for an apartment. Like I said earlier, searching for an apartment in the UK is like hard work. Like, it is work on its own because of all the checks they do. And then there are times that those landlords too can be very, very selective, very picky. They will tell you this is the number of kids they want, or they don't want kids. They just give you all sort of excuses. So sometimes it might take like a month. Like for 1 month, you're still searching for an apartment or for a house to rent. So that is why I feel like coming in first, or coming in with just your partner, is actually fine. And then you can bring in the kids later. You can actually leave your kids with maybe grandma or grandpa or someone trusted. Please don't leave your kids with people that would abuse them or violate them. So please only leave your kids back home with trusted people. Now, if you don't have any trusted person you can leave your kids with, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. If you can't trust anybody with your kids, and that is understandable, like, I feel like kids need to be guarded, they need to be protected. So if there's really nobody you can trust with your kids, then you have to come with your kids. There's nothing you can do about that, but you have to be financially ready for that. So if you're coming with your kids, you know that you have to have enough money to rent an accommodation that would contain you, your husband or your wife, and those kids, whether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, regardless of the number of kids you have. If you can't trust anybody enough to leave your kids with them, it means that you have to be financially ready to get accommodation that would be suitable for the number of people in your family. So that's something you should also consider. I would also like to mention, because I've heard this a few times, like people saying, oh, they can start the process for searching for an accommodation from abroad, like from overseas. So you're coming from Nigeria, so from Nigeria you want to get an accommodation in the UK and even make payments while you're still in Nigeria. Please and please try to be very careful with that. A lot of people get scammed. Yes, people get scammed, people get exploited. You will see a house and they will tell you, in fact, it is just safer for you to come here first, look at the house, and then pay. Don't pay from outside the UK like overseas. Don't try it. You might just lose your money. So that is why it is essential that you come into the UK first and then look at the house if you like it, and then apply. If they like accept your application and do the background check, then you can now make payments and then move into the house. So that's all I have to say. I feel like the ball is still in your court. You still have to decide. So the factors that would really determine or influence your decision will be the size of your family. Definitely the size of your family is very key. I mean, if it's just you and your partner, you guys can, you know, the way we say rough it in Nigeria, you both can come and then you'll be fine. You find a way around it. Although I still do not recommend finding a way around it. I like people who plan their lives. So there's nothing bad in you, even if it's just you and your partner. You can come first for the first 1 month, get settled, whether you're coming as an employee or as a student, get settled for 1 month, and then your partner can come. Like I said, you both can apply for your visas at the same time, you know, the same time. Have your visas ready, that's not a problem. But coming in, one can come in first, get settled, and bring in the other person. So the size of the family is actually a major factor. The second thing is the financial status of that family. Your financial status is very key, because for instance, if you're not like very buoyant financially, or maybe even all your savings have been spent on paying your tuition fee, for instance, if you're a student, or for whatever reason you just do not have enough money for getting an accommodation as soon as you get into the UK. You know, accommodation for like say 3-4 people, you know, depending on the size of your family. Then you want to come alone, then you know, get a job. Like if you're a student, get a part-time job, or if you're actually an employee, start working. And then when you get your first month salary, or maybe 2 months salary or 3 months salary, you can merge it, whatever. Just save up. And I don't think in 3 months you should be able to save up enough money to get a nice accommodation, especially if you have a large family. In 3 months you should be able to save up enough money to get a large accommodation and to bring in your family. Okay, so I think that I've done enough justice to this question. This is a frequently asked question in my DM. So if I have other points, I would type it as a comment in the comment section. So look out for any pinned comments in the comment section. But please, if you live in the UK, what are your thoughts? If you came in with family, like right from the onset, you came in with your spouse and your children, let me know in the comment section. And how did you sort out accommodation? I really want to know, especially for people who came in with kids and their spouse at first. Like, how did you maneuver that? How did you handle accommodation? Did you have to, or did your spouse and kids have to stay with a family member or a friend? How did you go about it? I really don't know. Because I'm just wondering, how would you do that if you come in with everybody at first? Okay, I'm also guessing that for people who have enough money, yes, if you have enough money, some people do Airbnb. I actually just remember that. So people who have enough money can actually stay in Airbnb. People actually do that. So they come with their family and they just stay in Airbnb or stay in a hotel. Just book for a hotel reservation, and then while they are in that say Airbnb or hotel, they start looking for a proper house or a proper apartment to rent. And then when they get that sorted, they now move into the rented apartment. So yeah, that's also another option. Anyways, whichever option that you used or you made use of when you came into the UK, let me know in the comment section so that others can also learn as well. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you're yet subscribed, you know you're supposed to subscribe, right? Please subscribe, like, yes, and of course smash the notification bell so you'd always be notified when I put up videos on my channel. And you also want to refer your friends and family members to my channel, send my videos to them, share, okay? Just share. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.